This is part 4 of our teaching that we're doing on Psalm 34, talking about the promises of Yahuah that you'll find in this particular psalm. And if you haven't listened to part 1, 2, and 3, then I would encourage you to go back and listen to those as well. And we left off in our last session talking about the particular verse that we left off in was verse 12 and 13. It says, "What man is he that desires life and loves many days, that he may see good?" Then it says, "Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking guile." Now, excuse me, I explained in our last session a little bit about these particular verses here, and I think most people desire to have a long, productive, good life where you have good days and not bad days. And so then he tells you how to achieve that. In the next verse, he says, "Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking guile." Now, this is not talking about, he's not telling us not to be just using curse words. He's talking about speaking evil. What would be speaking evil? Well, I shared a little bit in our last session about this, so you go back and listen to that. I don't want to repeat the whole thing that I shared in our last session because I want to cover some new information. But the point is that the scriptures declares that in Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, I believe, that death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit of it. Now, to interpret that means that words we speak can either bring death or they can bring life. They can bring a blessing, they can bring curses. You know, the power that's in words that we speak, we just don't even realize how powerful our words can be. You remember the Mashiach when the disciples were in the boat and the wind and the storm came up, and the Mashiach, the Messiah, stood up and commanded the winds and the sea to be still. He said, "Peace, be still," and immediately there was a calm there. And the disciples said, "What manner of man is this that even the winds and the sea obey him?" Of course, you know, we're talking about there it is, Yahuah there in the boat with them, who has the power to speak. How did he create all things? If you go back in the book of Genesis or Bereshit, you'll find that he spoke things. It says, in fact, it lists in the book of Genesis that, and it says, "And Yahuah said, let there be." And he said, he spoke the world into existence with his words. Now, we're created in the image and likeness of Yahuah. So the words that we speak, they can bring either life or they can bring death to us. As I've already stated before, you know, when we speak, as it talks about the word that he says, "Keep your lips from speaking evil." Speaking evil will be talking about evil things in coming to pass in your own life. It's a matter of really almost prophesying of evil to come into your life by words that people speak. You know, if you talk about that you're afraid of this, you're afraid of that, you know, and a lot of times people's fears come that they speak over a long period of time will come to pass in their lives. And they say, "See, I told you so." I told you I was going to lose my job. I just knew I was. That's how a lot of people talk. They talk negative. They talk contrary to what the Word has to say. Instead of knowing what the Scriptures has to say, filling their heart with the Word, the Scriptures, and where the Word says that my Yahuah supplies all my need according to His riches in glory by Yahushua HaMashiach. By His stripes I've been made whole. Himself, Yahushua, took my infirmities or my sicknesses and bore my pains. Himself, He bore them for me. See, instead of speaking the word, First of all, they don't know the word because they've spent no time or little time at all studying the scriptures. But if you do, if you would change your way of living by focusing and finding out what the word has to say, put it into your heart. Yahushua himself said, "For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak." You'll find that, I believe, in Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth will speak. You will speak what's in the abundance of your heart. So if you're filling your heart with the scriptures or with the word of Yahuah, what are you going to speak? You're going to speak the word of Yahuah. And I've already shared with you that the scripture says, how can two walk together unless they agree? How are you going to walk with Yahuah and expect the blessings of Yahuah to be manifested in your life if you're not speaking the same thing that Yahuah is speaking over your life? If you're speaking words of death and destruction and doom and gloom and so forth, guess what you're going to have? You're going to have those things because Satan will because you're giving him license to bring those things into your life. The scriptures declare that we're to be sober, be vigilant, because we do have an adversary that goes about seeking whom he may devour. Notice the way it's worded there, whom he may devour, meaning that he can't devour everyone. It's only those who through either ignorance or they willingly just in rebellion speak words of fear, doubt, and so forth. And Shaitan is able to have an inroad into their lives. So he can't devour everybody. And I'm just telling you, and I'm just acknowledging before you, that he'll not devour me because I'm going to speak what Yahuah says about me. I'm going to do what the scripture says and resist Shaitan. It says, resist the devil, resist Shaitan, and he will flee from you. Are you resisting him? How do you resist Shaitan? How do you resist him? With the word. How did the Mashiach come back, Satan, when he came to him in Matthew chapter 4? He came to, the scriptures declares that Yahushua was driven in the wilderness to be tempted or tested of Shaitan, of the devil. And Satan said, if you be the son of, English translation, son of God, turn these stones into bread. After Yahushua had been fasting 40 days. And Yahushua says, the next words out of Yahushua's mouth was, it is written. In other words, how he overcame Satan was he told him what was written. He combated him with the word. That's why we need to know the word so that when we're attacked, Satan may not come to you at the same type of temptation, but he may come at you with fear. He may come at you with some type of fear, say, that you're going to lose your job and you're not going to have enough money to pay your bills, and all these thoughts come into your head. Well, how do you combat that? How do you overcome that? You say, it is written, in Philippians chapter 4, verse 19, my Elohim, my mighty one, supplies all my need according to his riches. See, you tell him what is written. This is how you overcome that negative voice coming against your mind. The scriptures declares that we're not to be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of our mind. We have to renew our mind with the word of Yahuah, that we begin to think like he thinks, and we begin to speak like he speaks. We speak the word of our Father. Yahushua himself said in the Gospel of John chapter 6, verse 63, he said, it's the spirit that quickens, the flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit, and they are life. So in other words, if you'll speak his word, you know what? You're speaking words of life, and you're not speaking words of death. You can't be speaking words of death and words of life at the same time. They won't work. You can't do it. So that's why when we speak words of life, then we're going to have life in abundance. In other words, we're going to have good things manifested in our lives because we're speaking according to the word of Yahuah. And we're not giving place to the devil or to Shaitan. We're not giving him any place. And how people give place to him is by not having knowledge of the scriptures, not filling their heart full of the scriptures, and so consequently, see, this whole world is in a negative flow in the first place. Everything is negative. Everybody thinks negatively. They talk negative. You know, you stand out if you speak words that are positive, or have a positive confession about anything. You look odd to people because everybody's negative. If you talk to a bunch of fear and negative things, people, you sound normal to them. That's not normal, believe me. It's normal to speak the word of Yahuah. Well, I've got to stop it here for now. It's getting a little late here. We're going to have to wrap it up tonight. We'll pick back up here. Hopefully we'll get some teaching in tomorrow. And we'll try to finish this up in the next session or two on Psalm 34. Share this with others as I've asked you to do on Facebook, with your friends. Encourage them, let them know about our YouTube channel, and encourage others to watch as well. Thank you.